Let's get this straight. If you're someone who ranks their food 10 out of 10 or says, this is the best thing I've ever had to every piece of junk food or unhealthy food, then I hate to break it to you, but you're not a foodie, you're an addict. Which is why in this video, we're going to discuss ways you can overcome your addiction with 3 easy steps. So let's get rolling. The first way to start breaking our food addiction is to start filling our house with healthy foods. So instead of having like little dishes of candy or snacks lying around, you can clean that out, get rid of it, and then have like a bowl of fruit hanging out so that you're encouraged to eat healthy. Instead of having high calorie, high sugar foods, you're able to have low calorie, nutritious foods that are actually filling and with natural sweetness. So instead of artificial sweetness or unhealthy sweetness that leaves you addicted, fruits are designed to be very, very nourishing and healthy for your body so that if you eat natural sweetness from the fruits, you're not going to be addicted after you eat them. This can also encourage you to go through your pantry and your refrigerator to clean out any unnecessary high-calorie junk foods that you could have been eating mindlessly throughout your week. What I'd recommend is if you're trying to get rid of any junk food in your pantry or your refrigerator or in your kitchen, is I would add whole foods and replace those junk foods with those whole foods so that you only have a very limited option of high-calorie foods, or even if you're struggling with an addiction, getting rid of it altogether. For your pantry, I'd fill it with staples like rice, beans, high-protein pasta, or even some other canned goods like canned fruits, canned vegetables, frozen fruits, frozen vegetables, and any type of really healthy grain and protein. And an example of a grain with high protein can be chickpeas, which are very, very healthy and nutritious for the body. And you can put them in a bunch of different dishes. I've seen a lot of different things online, on TikTok. So just get creative in the kitchen. But filling up your pantry with these kinds of staples is a really good start to a healthy, brighter future. Same process with the fridge. I'd add more meats and more vegetables in your freezer, more meats, more frozen vegetables, frozen fruits, stuff like that. And so you have a lot less chance of being tempted by unhealthy foods so that you can reduce your addiction and even beat it altogether. To those of you who are saying, this is a waste of food, my answer to that is no, it's not. Because if you really do think about it, you're eating foods that are causing you to be more addicted because you have to spend more money on those types of foods that are addictive because you have an addiction. And so it's leading you to a decline in your health. And since health is wealth, you need it to be in tip-top shape so that you don't have to spend more money on medical bills. So that is the ultimate hack to save the most amount of money. So if you're looking at your situation and you're trying to get rid of all the junky foods and stuff and you feel guilty about I don't want to waste food, there's hungry people out there. The thing is that you have to do what's right for you. Caring about others is great too, but when it comes down to an addiction, you really have to pinpoint the problem and get rid of the root so that you can, look out for your well-being and your overall health. This is really just the ultimate hack to saving more money in the long run so that you can focus on things like retirement that actually matter instead of, fueling your addiction that's making you spend, hundreds and hundreds of dollars on food when it's really just not necessary. Our next step to breaking addiction is to limit or get rid of fast food or eating out. So if you have a habit in the morning before work of stopping at McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or wherever and getting a breakfast sandwich or a high-calorie coffee from Starbucks or something, this is a way that you can avoid trying to do those things. What I find for me is when I try breaking an addiction is to simply drive past that place, don't look in that direction, or pack a ready to go breakfast that you can eat in the car on the way to work, so that reduces the chances of you stopping in the morning and getting those like takeout meals. This is going to reduce your calorie intake drastically and actually spend it on things that are going to be filling and going to be nutritious and are going to keep you fuller for longer. And depending on what your job is, whether that's a desk job, a physical job like a factory job, or whatever job you have, it's very important that you can maintain your energy throughout the day so that you have good clarity, good focus, and so that you can get a lot of things done in a day. It also just helps you avoid setting yourself up for failure. Like if I was trying to, meal prep more and clean up my environment, and I went through that whole process of basically just trying to replace everything with whole foods and healthy foods, I wouldn't want all that progress to be wasted or ruined just because I wanted takeout. So stick to those 2 tips, and I can guarantee you that your progress will not be wasted, and you can continue to see more progress no matter where you are at the beginning or in the middle of your journey. It's very, very important that we develop healthy habits and a pattern that our brain can follow so that we can go on autopilot and get used to those types of things that we're training our mind to do. Speaking of working on autopilot, our third way to break our addiction is to romanticize having a healthy lifestyle. On social media, you may have seen, multiple influencers or people that are trying to romanticize their morning just by setting something aside that they can look forward to after they get something done. So whether that be like a workout, a coffee, a protein bar, meditation, journaling, watching the sunrise, it can be just the little things that change the course of your morning to make it more enjoyable so that you can stick to it for longer. Consistency is so important when it comes to building a healthy lifestyle and seeing the progress that you want. And yes, I am completely aware that discipline and building a healthy lifestyle and building willpower is not easy, but when we look at it from a different perspective, just trying to romanticize at least one thing can really brighten our mood, change our mindset, and really give us something to look forward to so that we can stick to it and be consistent in our weight loss journey. It really helps you to build that connection with yourself, slow down, be present, and really live in the moment. I want you to understand that this is the time for you. So before pouring into somebody else's cup, always try to pour into yourself first thing in your day, because you matter the most and you don't want to be focusing on other people before you focus on yourself. This formula is designed to give you better results that will transform the way that you look at food addiction and eventually make it easier for you to get into a pattern of routine that you can stick to. The more that you do these things, the more it gets easy because you are putting your brain on autopilot. I'm going to make a more in-depth video on hijacking your brain, finding the right routine for you, so make sure to check that video out in the future.